Many thanks for staying tuned just to watch the Eastern Business Report right here on the Afia Business Morning. On Monday in Abuja, during the official launch of the Diaspora BRIDGE Platform, a digital project by the federal government aimed at linking Nigerian academics abroad with institutions at home, Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State shared his latest vision. He said his government is getting ready to set up 2 new universities, the Enugu State University of Education and Technology, and the Enugu State University of Agriculture and Technology, as part of a larger plan to make Enugu a center for knowledge and a hub for diaspora-led innovation. Joining me to talk about this morning on the Eastern Business Reports is Mr. Emmanuel Chime, the public affairs analyst. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing
Good morning. Very cool.
So good to see you.
Thank you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, so there's no need going over the narrative again. I would just like to get your thoughts on this before we go into
Okay, the truth is that being innovational in government and governance is very much welcomed, especially this time around. Our nation is crying for help. All right, the future of our youths in the country needs a very serious help now. So seeing our governor, doing a whole lot of things to become different, to present different results, from what we used to have prior to now. But the other way around again, what we are looking at is 1, sustainability, 2, durability of these structures. For instance, we talk about the smart school that we have today in Enugu. Record has it that a lot. I've captured some videos of a lot of them that have fallen. All right. At the time you see it going down. There was one at Ozowa in the area, which started from the foundation. It broke. The foundation everywhere got down from the foundation. Right around the entire structure. So it wasn't like a particular portion. And so we want to see where such vision is being backed with, quality. All right, quality in public project delivery. Like the other day, I rightly said, that was right here on this platform and beyond as well. I rightly said, and I will iterate it here, that, speed in the wrong direction is never an advantage, in any journey in life. Speed in the wrong direction. And so we want to tell our governor, we applaud him for saying that. That's a very beautiful one, because the truth is that one of the major life wires of development in any nation in the world is, you see education, you see health, you see power. Before you even start talking about road network, you talk about education first, you talk about health, you talk about power, before you start talking about every other ones that comes attached behind. All right. And so our governor is doing greatly well in the area of education. But I want to ask our governor as well, is it not beautiful? We begin to upgrade, we begin to improve the existing academic establishments we have in Enugu State.
Yeah, before we go into that, Mr. Chime, you talked about the government focusing on power, focusing on the hospitals in the states and all of that. We've seen some developments in that area, and education is the bedrock of this thing. Don't you think so? That's
exactly what we have established here right now, because education happens to be the bedrock of every development you see in the world. Education, health, all right, power. These, among many other, are the bedrock of development in anywhere in the world. All right, but education is put first, because when the people are not educated, are not enlightened, are not informed, then how can they now sustain the development being introduced in their society? They can't. All right. So there is every need for people to be educated in this or in the other way. And meanwhile, again, the kind of, or the version of education that we have been inculcated with right here in Enugu and of course in Nigeria needs to be adjusted. Our curriculum needs to be adjusted, seriously adjusted. That was 2017 when I was privileged to pass through a particular school of thought as of then. So one of our facilitators rightly told us that from research, Nigeria academic system is 14 years behind the international standard. And that's why the certificate you are being offered in Nigeria here means nothing when you cross outside the country to the western part. And of course, this is where we borrowed our academic system. All right, so it becomes an issue. So why not we begin to upgrade? And part of the ways to upgrade is to establish and to fund researches. In Nigeria, we have a very big problem with research. We don't research. We recycle the moribund knowledge system that we have. We keep recycling it. We keep teaching the today's people, the same knowledge that we taught the people of ages ago. And it's not helping, it's not working. And that's why after learning, you discover that, for instance, let's have these statistics. In Nigeria today, we usually have about 765,000 graduates every year, annually, in Nigeria. So for even the institutions, it doesn't mean that we're having deficits in the area of institutions that trains our youth. No. We have over 765,000 youths graduating every year from our institutions. And do you know what? Annually, record have it that about 65,000 accesses jobs. And meanwhile, if we break it down further, you discover that within that 65,000, about a greater margin of them are underemployed. All right? They have been underemployed. Perhaps what I mean by underemployed is this. When one is with BSc or MSc or thereabouts and assessing a job that will be underpaying him. All right? And so you discover that it becomes an issue. But our society, what do we need more? We need industries currently. Industries that will absorb these guys that are being trained. And so we begin to search which area of education do we even need more.
You talked about using upgrading our curriculum for the newer generation. And I think that's what Mbah is doing. When you look at it, he's coming with this technology approach, training youth in experiential learning, technology. The other day we saw on the news that he might be establishing an AI center soon in the state. And we'll be seeing more of this. Don't you think it's the right path? Then
what we are talking about is that the 260 smart schools being built in various wards in Enugu should have not come to bear at all. It would have been, take this ideology and fix it within the structures we already have. I don't know if you're getting me.
So you're saying he shouldn't have brought about the smart schools?
No, I'm saying the idea of smart schools would have been inculcated and fixed within the structure we already have.
Okay.
Now, what I mean is this. Instead of the infrastructures that is raising the fresh buildings in places right now, instead of that, then we'll go to those buildings we already have. We already have primary schools in various communities, secondary schools in various communities that are producing nothing. Then why not we take that ideology to those areas, upgrade them, so that those guys that are passing through those process of education system, then we'll begin to benefit from that beautiful ideology. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying here. Instead of we taking it to a different micro-zoned area, whereby each ward, in other words, each town, we have one smart green school being sited there. Then how many citizens are going to go through that place? But you discover that in each town, you may have like about 2 or more public schools there. All right? So why not we begin to, that's why I said improve the ones we already have. Does it mean that those ones will now dilapitate? Is that what I mean? Not like we have our bus stops within Enugu that are being changed, being phased out. Meanwhile, the structures of the bus stops, it doesn't mean that the structures, the one we had prior to this particular government, that they are moribund or that they are not beautiful enough. No, it doesn't mean that. But it's just that the present governor today, rightly wants to bring in the design he wants. But does it mean that if tomorrow, perhaps after 2027, if he make it or he did not make it, then whomsoever that comes in again, so now bring this one down and bring another one? That's public fund we are spending, for goodness sake. So what we are talking about is, why not we make use of the one we have already? Begin to upgrade. For instance, we rightly have some radio or TV stations that are running yet on analog states. Then does it mean that if they want to upgrade to digital states, then they will need to bring down or abandon the entire edifice and go to raise another structure somewhere because they want to go digital? No.
The governor says, the governor says this is a wider plan to make Enugu, to set Enugu as a knowledge and innovation hub for the diaspora, for investors. Let's just put it that way. To you, is this the best route to that goal?
Marvelous, do you know what? It's a very beautiful one, just like we rightly said. When you speak grammar most of the time, some persons may want to go and look for the meaning. Before they will come back, you give them another grammar that they will, oh my God, they will start clapping in kind of. Because eloquency is different from, action-backed plans. All right? That yields real results. I mean, for goodness sake, did you not remember when our former governor rightly went to Holy Ghost here and began to construct overhead pedestrian? Now, anybody that sees him doing that as a then, politically will try to say, wow, the governor is doing this, doing that. But do you discover that, or do you know that after he built that including a goat never make use of that particular overhead pedestrian, let alone mad people passing through it? So in other words, it wasn't needed. So before you begin to blandish ideologies and blandish plans, it is beautiful, but try to check the benefits, or try to check side by side. Are there other means to get this done and done more usefully well? What I mean is this: why do we allow these existing structures to now go moribund? Because a lot of people will begin to decamp from those ones and put into this new idea, right? And so this particular structure will now stay and decay. This is public fund, for goodness sake. It's public assets. So why not we go to that particular structure, upgrade it? It is still individual. It is still our citizens that we're going to be using, to educate others. Then why not we take those ones? Maybe we begin to take our teachers, our lecturers in those various schools, take them for teaching, for trainings, to upgrade their memories, their reasoning, their quotients, to upgrade them, to bring them to that standard that they will now inculcate the same knowledge to these guys, in line with the vision. Why not we do that? And meanwhile, if you ask now, for instance, the government have responded and said that they are yet going to make use of the existing teachers in Enugu for Enugu Green Smart Schools. I don't know if you're getting me. They are teaching them to make use of them, that they are not employing from outside the system. They are going to use the ones that are in existence, the teachers. So why not make use of the existing schools too? Equip the schools. That's the only thing that the schools need. Equip the schools. Use it.
Maybe the government plans to bring in more teachers.
Even if you are planning to bring in more teachers, including the existing schools, needed some teachers to be employed. So why not equip the existing structures? If there are some structures that maybe that are moribund or they are updated in kind of, then we begin to fix them. It's going to give us more. I mean, I'm talking of cost effectiveness. We are spending a lot building other structures, and meanwhile, the structures we are building right now are being subcontracted to politicians, who now bring in whomsoever to come and build them. If you want, then I will share some videos with you. Then you see a lot of videos whereby you see, including the blocks. I'm talking of the block, the bricks that they are using to build the structure. You touch it, it is dissolving, just by hand touch, not that you hit it. It's dissolving. Then you see a lot of records where most of the structures are collapsing in different places, not in a particular place. And so why not we make use of the ones we have already, upgrade them and begin to use them for that smart schools, and begin to use them for whatever beautiful initiative that will bring into the country. And meanwhile, again, why not we think about in international community today? We see them coming to Nigeria demanding for our nurses, right? So why not we see need in that area? Why not we begin to expand more in the area of training nurses, more nurses in Enugu, and taking them, exporting them? And we'll begin to have more diaspora returns. Why not we think about that? Why not? Is it not better? We begin to have more diaspora returns. We have a governor whose vision is to build about $30 billion economy in Enugu, right? Then why not we have that? Why not we plan it and, swap it to that area? Build more nursing schools, upgrade the ones we have already, and begin to produce more nurses, export them out of the country, and begin to have more diaspora returns into Enugu State coffers, and begin to see a lot of money flowing within Enugu. Why not we do that? Meanwhile, remember, that was back then last year, 2024. Record has it that about over 75,000 women, pregnant women, died in 2024 in Nigeria. It then means that for every 7 minutes, a pregnant woman died in Nigeria. It then means that it became more of a death sentence becoming pregnant in Nigeria. Are we not seeing need in that area of health? When we are talking about that, one of the chief drivers of development in any country, health, you see education, you see health. If you take it down back to 2023, records yet have it that about 400,000 young children before their first 1 year anniversary They died in Nigeria, over 400,000.
Mr. Chime, I'd like to come in there. You know, while you were speaking earlier, you talked about the governor's pace in development in the state, and people are saying there's been talks that he's in a hurry to develop the state. Are you of that opinion? And what strategic approach do you suggest?
The truth is that he's not in a hurry, or he's in a hurry. Two of these languages are beautiful, but I will go by, he is not even in a hurry. He's doing simply what he ought to do. That the previous administration failed to do anything in Enugu does not mean that whomsoever that comes should remain dozer. Meanwhile, we have restive society today. And so that restive society needs to be addressed. There needs a lot of things to be done. And so what the governor is doing now, and I think he's doing it in the right direction. I think he's going around to touch areas of need. I think he's going around bringing in a lot of ideas to beautify Enugu State. But meanwhile, I want him to remember that this $30 billion economy is not going to be built on the blood of Enugu citizens. Taxation in Enugu is killing businesses. And meanwhile, all these schools and beautiful ideologies, it is Enugu citizens that will pass through those schools, right? They are going to pay school fees. From where are we going to get the money to pay the school fees? And so I want to see a governor who will look at these areas of need and who will remember that Enugu people are suffering in the area of double and multiple taxations and begin to bring down the taxes in Enugu. It's going to help.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chime, for joining us on the program today. Our
Thank
time is fast spent. Thank you. And that's all we can take on the Eastern Business Report today. I see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another edition of the Afia Business Morning. I am Marvelous Apuamaga, saying have a lovely business day.